Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Smack Attack. I am your host, Jimmy T. That is my co-host, R to the B to the V. And we are live on Hamin Media Groups YouTube channel. And, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. Rick, what's cracking, my friend? Sorry for the little late start, man. But, doing these back-to-back shows. And I went over 2 hours just before. It can leave a bit of a, it's a bit of a slog sometimes, man. But, nevertheless, I'm always happy to be talking wrestling with you, man, and we are here to talk SmackDown. And Rick, what's going on, man? How's things?
Jimmy, oi. Oh boy, hey man, I was getting worried where you were at.
No, don't worry, I'll be there. Sometimes I'll delay it, but
hey man, it's okay. Hey, I'm over here in the States. I don't know if you guys are hip to it. You pick up on it much. I know you follow a bit of our culture, but it is over here. March Madness. I have been enthralled into it, man. And my boys looking to cut down those nets. The Duke Blue Devils in a bit of a battle right now is the number one seed in the East. The Duke Blue Devils 28-24 against the number 9 Baylor Bears right now.
And where are you guys seeded?
We are a number 1 seed.
Oh, so you guys are the favorites to actually take out the whole thing?
One of them. You get 4 number 1 seeds, but we are one of the favorites.
There's 4 number 1 seeds?
We got 4 different regions that play into our Final
true.
Four.
You're right. No, you're right. That's true. All right. Do you think you will win? I mean, Duke is
one
of the
baby.
Best.
Yeah.
I've always have been one of the best college.
We're going to be eating down those nets. I can feel it, baby.
I loved, one thing I just want to say about, the college sport in the US, because no one else in the world does it like you guys do. I actually think that is one of the best things to do to actually get people into pro sports, because what better way than being in college and getting that sort of experience of playing in front of that type of crowd and passionate crowds. You get used to playing, say, in the NBA, for example, or in the NFL. You'll be used to all that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
They are actually 2 different style games, 2 different levels.
Definitely.
But college sports, to me, I still get into it certain times of years, especially with basketball. I don't follow much during the regular season. Keep an eye on the Blue Devils. Just get familiarized with the names each and every year now. But it doesn't really matter till March. There's such an emphasis on the tournament. The regular season is meaningless. I think you're starting to. It's the same way for some, even like the NBA.
Oh, absolutely. 82. I mean, what is it? 82 games.
Yeah. So you don't really start paying attention till it really starts around Christmas time or after the All-Star break. But college sports here in the United States, it's such a great phenomenon. I mean, people love it. If it's football, basketball, whatever. Baseball has been picking up a little bit of traction.
Has it? I've never thought baseball's big in college like sports.
Well, it's one of those things people pay a little bit more of attention around the College World Series time, just because it's an excuse for a big party and all that. But
does it get big crowds like the basketball does? And
no.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, man, I don't get that impression.
Nowhere close. I mean, our college football. I mean, it'll rival some of the crowds of
the NFL.
Football. No, it was.
It's in football, soccer. Yeah, I like how you call it football. It's good, man.
We have it's football, okay, but ours
football
is
with a U.
Yeah, or whatever the hell whatever there.
No, you're right.
Football. Yeah, football. But no, some of our college stadiums will hold over 100,000. They'll pack them.
I know, that's crazy, dude. And
our NFL stadiums are only like 65,000, 70,000.
That's still huge, bro. Like our colleges don't have shit like that, like stadiums like that. They got stadiums, but it's not on that level, man. It comes across as pro sports, dude. The way it's the perception of it.
And now we are paying our college athletes.
Yeah, so and that's a new thing too.
It's going to be.
Can I ask? Because I'm curious, right? And I knew that, and I know it's a new thing. But what's the average payment? What's the payment like now?
It varies. It varies by the schools and by the sport. That brings a whole nother issue into this thing.
That's bad. That's a bad thing though, because wouldn't it make the smaller colleges sort of be crap and make the
it is setting a not favorable tier inside of the college sports. Even where we used to have what we would call like our big major conferences, there's a difference there. Essentially, right now you have football reigns supreme. So we'll use that as our example. as we're looking at it. So you got the Big Ten, where I'm at, Big Ten country. Ohio State leads the way, national champions there. The SEC, those are your two absolute major power conferences. Then you have what that fall under the power umbrella, but they are far and behind, like the Big 12, the Pac-12, which traditionally, historically, one of the biggest and greatest conferences, basketball, football. They only have two teams left this year because every school got poached, got bought out by these. So
wow, that's harsh, dude.
Yeah, so it's the SEC and the Big Ten and everybody else, and your two big sports, obviously football and then college basketball, men's.
That's what I think, because that's what I see. We get all the college games and all that too, but it's always just football and basketball. We never get the college baseball, put it that way.
It's nowhere close to the others. Hockey,
right?
Our Frozen Four. They're running that tournament
Frozen
right now.
I like it.
They'll pick up a little bit of coverage here, right up the road from where I'm at Miami University, Miami, Ohio. They're very good hockey program.
In hockey?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in Ohio, really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you guys were really a hockey sort of town. You know what I mean?
It's not. We just got a good little program up the road on one of the small colleges where they just focus on it.
That's cool. That's actually quite interesting. But I don't want to bore everyone with I'm just curious myself, obviously. But we are here to talk SmackDown. And you know what, dude? Before I watched it, I didn't watch it live initially. I watched it after the fact. But, there was a lot of negativity surrounding this show at first, it seemed. But after watching it, I don't know what people were talking about.
Negativity and what
like a lot of people didn't think the show was good, and that's before I watched it, just by reading what people were saying, you know what I mean? Just on social media and whatnot.
Cool. I guess looking back, I didn't read too much feedback on it. It just seemed like a regular show to me. I don't think that... I
enjoyed it, funny enough.
There were some high points. Again, we got a little bit of a different format that we're going to use for the Smack Attack. We're going to little tweaks from last week, but the new formats, we're going to hit on the highlights of the show. But for me, it hit on the high notes, and there were some carrying moments. Maybe the matches run a little long. I know you guys were talking this morning. You bet we're talking about when you were talking about Karrion Kross, and there's a lot of great talent potentially on that roster, but maybe the way that they format, not a lot of possible airtime for everybody. To me, the counter would, and I was listening to Vet lay it out, and it made amazing sense. Then I went and watched SmackDown went and rewatched before the record here. Maybe we do shorten some of these matches. And I started thinking back to when I was watching, come in as a kid watching professional wrestling, we had those shorter matches. Now, I'm not suggesting we go back to the straight enhancement era, and talent era.
It's too late now for that.
I understand that.
Right.
But in the same sense, I do not need a lot of these. We're going to talk about a few of them on this show where the scrubs are going 50-50 with our stars.
Me too. Right. It's annoying.
I understand at some points, yeah, but there was a lot of long, useless wrestling on this show. So I could see where some people were down on that, but I thought there was quite a bit of business and some questions that we're going to talk about here as we are 1 month away from the grandest show of them all, the Spectacle of Spectacles, WrestleMania.
I love that. The Spectacle of Spectacles. As a matter of fact, Rick, I mean, it's rapidly approaching. It felt like a long time.
No way.
Yeah, it's amazing how quick we're getting there. But look, we'll see what happens. I think it was you that mentioned about Karrion Kross's hairstyle. Was it you last week?
No, not me.
Okay, someone brought up, and it was a good point. I don't think it was the vet either. I can't remember. I think it was Big Ray even.
I was going to say, by the process of elimination, you do a show at the vet, you do a show with Ray.
But it was a great point because I didn't see it at first.
Hey, and you know what? When you need great points about great hair, who better to go to than Big Ray?
Absolutely. Yeah.
With those flowing locks of his.
I mean, look at the locks on him, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But he brought up a great point because if you notice, and this is what he said, do you notice that whoever he's talking to, like last week he spoke to AJ Styles, for example, right? But you notice his hair was done like AJ Styles. It was like ironed. It was straightened out. Do you get what I mean? And when he said that, I'm like, you know what? You're right. And then when he speaks to others, his hair is similar to who he's talking to, which is actually a good spot because I didn't think of that. And then when I thought about it, I'm like, God damn it, you're right. That's actually a great point. So shout outs to Big Ray for that because I didn't think of that. Not many people did. But he's actually onto something. I find that kind of interesting, but I don't know if it's necessary, to be honest, because really, what does it really achieve?
No, those
But
are
nevertheless,
small,
it's a good little Easter egg.
small little things, you know. If you're,
Right.
you're playing the parts, you're playing those roles. But yeah, we'll get into those. But Jimmy, let's jump into. We took to the social media looking for those meaty subjects for our Talking Smack Talk portion of the show. Now, listen, I want to get some things going here. This is not necessarily causing a stir here, but I did want to make mention of this. A very sad bit of news from the world of professional wrestling hits a little especially close to home here. Right up the road in Dayton, Ohio, the promotion this happened at, I've done quite a bit of work with, from commentary to ring announcing to even working a few angles there. But Graham, Artest Michael, look at this, man. He just had a birthday.
He's
30
young,
years old.
dude. How young is he,
30 years old. This just happened Friday night at an indie show. Complications
in the ring?
In the match. In the match.
Again, 2 times now.
They had to stop. They had to stop everything. The squads, EMS, fire, police, they were called. He was transported to a local medical facility, hospital, and later passed away from those complications. But everybody that knew him absolutely loved the guy. He just kind of tell everybody with a smile on his face. Just really great to be around, and a great talent. And I know this happened at Extreme Valley Wrestling. And those guys are first class. They're a big family up there. It's hitting them very, very hard, very devastating for the area. So sad to hear about that. So if you guys are out there, if you're going to shows, if it be WWE, AEW, especially the indies, especially on the indies, just know the commitment, the dedication, how much these talents are putting in there that could be, taken away at any time like this. Wasn't really doing anything out of the ordinary. It wasn't some crazy spots or anything like that. Just out there, one of those things happen. So truly, let these individuals, if you get a chance, know how much you appreciate that they're there for our entertainment.
Dude, it's sad. I didn't even know who he was, to be honest, right? But he looks kind of. Was he like Polynesian background?
I'm not exactly sure. Everything background.
He does kind of like Samoan, even like.
Yeah, I'm just a super nice guy. I been around him a few times there. I didn't personally get to know him all well, but I know it's those that I have been close with in the past that were close with him now that it's just devastating.
Rest in peace, man. I mean, and condolences to his family. That's sad, dude. He's way too young. I was in 7th grade in 95, dude. The fact that we're still here sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how this shit works. If there's a God, why do they take young people away like that? It's just, and he looks like a happy dude, and I don't even know the guy, and I feel that vibe just looking at him right now, through the picture, and it's sad, dude.
Yeah. So like our thoughts, and positive vibes for Extreme Valley Wrestling, their family, and especially Graham's family themselves, family and close friends there.
Absolutely, man. But yeah.
Well, Jimmy, also this past weekend, one of the wildest characters, in-ring performers of the last couple decades there, Homicide, has retired from the ring. He's had some health complications, so he decided to hang it up, had his retirement match this past weekend, picked up a big W. For the chat and for you, Jimmy, what are some of your favorite Homicide moments or memories that you have of this crazy SOP?
I loved Homicide back in the day, of course, LAX, you know what I mean, TNA. Man, there's so many moments, but just Homicide was different, man. Like, how do I put this? He's just a crazy dude. Him and Hernandez were a great tag team at their peak, dude. And with Conan in their corner at the time, I used to love the song too. When they used to come out to the OG LAX theme. This was the best variation of LAX, not Santana and Ortiz. This was the the team.
Those guys were LAX, and there was something special about them. They were just one of those teams where you just legitimately feel how badass they are. And as you mentioned, you put them with K-Dog, they go to the next level. On just outside of LAX and what they meant to the tag scene, to bringing that faction to TNA wrestling, representing there, got to be seen on that larger scale as an individual wrestler. I mean, I always remember, I think it was, one of the first times that I really had seen, Ring of Honor. It was Ring of Honor, and when he got that big payoff at Final Battle, was it 2006, where he won the championship from Bryan Danielson?
Oh, no. Was it 05 maybe?
Okay, somewhere in that time.
It was around there anyway. I'm probably wrong, but I know it's along that, that sort of time frame. You're probably right about it, but that was a long time ago. And yeah, man, he was on top of the world at that time. I mean, he's got, people will say he's too small, right, at the time. But he made up for it with just his intensity and his grunt, you know what I mean? He was a violent wrestler too, really. He was a lot more talented. As a matter of fact, he even trained our very own Greek god Papadon, GGP.
Really? Homicide. I didn't know that.
Well, you didn't know that?
No, I did not know that. All right. Awesome, man. So that's his ties to HMG. I did not know that. Man.
Absolutely. He actually posted recently, like they're close. Them two are very close. And still are to this day. And unfortunately for Homicide, and you say, well, to my favorite, I can't give you a pinpoint thing because I just enjoyed watching him over the years, obviously. I hadn't seen him more in recent times, unfortunately. But during the peak, around that 06 TNA, between 06, 08, like I'll say, that was really the LAX run. You know what I mean? They were the best. You could argue they were the best tag team in wrestling at the time, man.
You can pull that down if you want. I mean, you don't have to leave those up while we're chatting. So it's not over.
Okay. Since we're talking about it, but I'll get you,
yeah. But it's an interesting point. You mentioned, maybe back then people were talking about his size or lack of, that potentially didn't get that look at WWE. I think what's really interesting, you look at the time where he comes in, and the time you see a huge change in the landscape. You're losing companies like ECW or like WCW. You're seeing the birth of companies, TNA wrestling, Ring of Honor wrestling, but kind of WWE themselves were changing gears of how, this is the transition where he's breaking in, training, the transition from the attitude to the ruthless aggression, where they're moving their development programs, all that. Because you got to think, man, a team like LAX, and especially Homicide, I wonder if it was almost, his style, his look, his presence. Those guys would have been amazing in the Attitude Era. You got to believe they would have been snatched them up to have a faction in there, because we already had Los Barricos. Can you imagine if that would have been LAX, taking on the bikers and the Nation of Domination? How badass would that have been?
That would have been the best. No shit. And I'm not saying that because we're talking about him. No shit. If you compare them to the Boricuas, for example, and they're Puerto Ricans too. They're actually Boricuas on both sides. But I truly believe they would have been the team that would have stood out if they were in that era as Homicide and Hernandez. I truly think they would have been the team. Especially against DOA, dude.
Well, I'm thinking against the bikers, DOA, right. Against the Nation of Domination. That's where you kind of had those racial divides, where there's different style gangs. I could have seen back then, especially with Conan at that time, if the stars would have aligned right, maybe they might have emerged as one of the top factions. Could you imagine LAX and DX, the Triple H version of DX, going against each other?
Oh my God! Can you imagine the promo with Homicide? Particularly because Hernandez wasn't good on the.
He would have had to be, but I mean, and then they have Conan in there. I mean, that would have been absolutely insane. And then you look at that back end of Homicide's career, where maybe the bump card wasn't as quite there. If he could have been a little bit in his prime right now, he would probably have a major spot somewhere in WWE, or certainly with AEW.
As a trainer, even he did.
No, if he was in his prime,
Right.
Now,
Exactly.
so I'm saying the window where he was like a little too late and a little too early to see what to sample some a true boom period for himself.
Right. He just missed out. Like, I think he came in at the wrong point. Like you said, with WWE, they were looking at different things altogether. That someone like him at that time, Ruthless Aggression era.
Oh shit, man! What is Gruss saying, man? Could you mention this and
Oh
stop
my God, the Gangsters.
a run through the original ECW LAX versus the
Dude.
Gangsters?
They're they're literally the Latino versions of the Gangsters when you really think about
That's
it. There's a lot of
now, oh
similarities.
my god! Now you got me like just working out. You talk about those dream situations of LAX could have had a run in the original ECW.
Oh, well, that would have
With
fit
the
in like a shoe,
Gangsters,
dude. Oh, my
with
God.
Public Enemy, with the Eliminators, with Sabu and Van
with Perry
Dam,
Saturn as well.
right?
Perry Saturn and what's his name? I forgot his name now.
The Eliminators.
Yeah, the Eliminators.
Kronos and Saturn.
Kronos, that's it. That's the one. And Saturn. And their finisher, I still love their finishers, man. You know, they sort of the high-low kick. Like at the same time, they were great tag team. Actually, ECW had great tag teams, but at that time, they would have fit in perfectly. They're exactly what ECW looked for, literally, is LAX. But unfortunately for Homicide, apparently he's got a brain tumor of sorts, right?
Yeah, so some major issues. So at this point, it's best to hang it up, step away, take care of those, and make the rounds. Go on with life. Best of luck there, and just make the occasional pop-ups at the conventions.
I just hope he gets through that, man, and that's what really matters the most, man. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he will. He seems very positive too, dude. I've heard some great stories through GGP about him. Like, it almost feels like I kind of know him, even though I don't. But, just hearing stories about him, he seems like a top dude. Him and Amazing Red as well. They've got a lot of history, of course, with training a lot of wrestlers as well in the Northeast region. But like I said, yeah, man, GGP is a student of Homicide, which is kind of weird because the styles are completely different. But that's how versatile Homicide truly is if people actually don't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know. That is very, very, very cool.
Yeah, man.
So,
that's true. And
whatever ventures, if he's going to continue training, continue in the business in some capacity, or whatever he has planned, the best for his health and for his future.
And that's all that matters most, man. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, Jim, I regularly preach that pro wrestling is at its absolute best when it mirrors, the real world,
life.
What's going on.
Society.
We talk about right now that pro wrestling has become so watered down that, hell, when you look at things, we were talking about sports tends to out pro wrestling, and also politics out pro wrestling's pro wrestling. We have got the tribalism, if you will. We've got the characters, the storylines, the feuds, the blood feuds, if you will. And how about this right here? This is a potential for politics to actually meet pro wrestling. Former WWE superstar, Hall of Famer, Kane. He's a mayor down there in where's he a mayor at there? Shit. In Tennessee. Correct? Is that where
Tennessee.
Kane's at? Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it just like escaped me. But anyway, Mayor Jacobs has put out the challenge for Tim Waltz. Of course, for those of you that are like, who the hell do I know that Tim Waltz? He was the running mate for Kamala Harris for the presidential spot there. Of course, they lost big time there. But Waltz recently made a comment that he felt confident that he could kick any Trump supporter's ass. So Kane politely responds, putting out the challenge there. All joking aside, he challenged Mr. Waltz, let's put our money where our mouth is in a charity wrestling match. We'll split the gate 50-50 between our chosen organizations. And Mayor Kane got things going. Said he'd throw down $10,000 to get it going. We've yet to hear from Waltz's camp here. What do you think, Jimmy? Politics. I know, yeah, you're on the other side of the world. This is the American game here. But would this intrigue you to see Kane, the politician, the big red machine, stepping back into the ring to take on the other side, the lead jackass, the head donkey over there, Tim Waltz?
First of all, it'd be an absolute no contest, and I'll just hope that Kane doesn't kill the guy, to be fair, just by looking at him. If I were him, I wouldn't want to step into the ring with the big red machine.
Hold on here. You're sounding short here. We do have a sneak peek, right, of what Tim Waltz could look like.
Well,
in the wrestling ring.
Oh, yes, we do. As a matter of fact, I know exactly. I know what
You
exactly
heard
what
that
you're talking about.
He might be training right now. So this could be what Kane is up against here. You're going to tell me that guy is not going to strike fear into the heart of the big red machine.
Well, when you put it like that, and if his finisher is the rim job, well, yeah. If I was Kane, maybe I would actually step back. Maybe actually, that's predatory right there, Rick. I'm just saying.
Hey, I got to. I like this. You actually, just for the sake of us getting flagged or something like this, no pun intended there with the flag. Just for our own eyes, let's get that thing off of there. We're trying to retain viewers or grow viewership here, Jimmy. We don't need that up to. Hey, but hey, I think this would be a tremendous cause, a great way to bring both sides together. Obviously, there'd have to be a lot of issues. Where are you going to host this? I mean, just outside, I think it would draw. I think you could sell a great gate. I think there's already Fox News was running with this. I saw CNN had a story on it here. So you've got that publicity. Now we got to book it. Who's going to carry this thing? I got to believe that all the major news, Fox, CNN, they would want a shot to carry this thing live. We get an undercard. We're getting some paydays for some people. And I got an idea for the biggest payday. The biggest payday for us here, because all right, so the booking in this thing, the Reds the Republicans aren't going to want to give up a win. The Democrats aren't going to want to give up a win. But what do you do here is you use this as an opportunity to unite America.
Wait. Literally unite America, if you know what I mean?
What brings together? Yeah, what my boy Red Man in the house from down to Harrison VFW, one of my buddies there.
Cool.
No, you use this, and this is one of the oldest storytelling techniques. Hamin talks about this all the time, to rally together two opposing sides that seemingly cannot stand one another. You need the ultimate in a common enemy. Someone that is such a bastard, SOB, that everybody hates, that they'll come together to stand against. So when we got Kane in there representing the Republicans, we got Waltz in there representing the blue, not the blue brand, not us, but the Democrat.
SmackDown or Smack Attack, right?
Yeah. So then we get the run in led by our own Ben Hamin. He is leading the Russians. He is leading the Chinese. All things, all things that stand against democracy, led by Ben Hamin, interfere in this epic showdown, try to ruin it, to take it away from us, the American people, so that we see Walt and we see Kane have to stand together. America united to vanquish Ben Hamin and the foreign enemies. That's how you book that thing.
You mean Ben Huang Min?
Yes.
If you get what I mean.
Huang Min and Chernobyl Min, or whatever the hell. I don't know any Russian words.
I had to do that. Oh, he could be Vlad Bin Haminev.
Yeah, we get whoever with it, man. I get Ben's old stable back together. I know they were working with the chat. He's got Blaze. He's got the chat. Now we just need a couple of Russians in there. Get them all led by Ben. Let's book this event. Let's get the rub. Let's get the love. Let's bring America together again.
America the Beautiful. There you go. I said it.
The singer would strike fear into AJ Styles. Yeah.
If you understand what he means by that, that pops me, dude.
It might just cause AJ to run off the edge of the world.
Have you heard what he's really referring to? It is the funniest thing you'll ever hear, dude. Apparently, and I'll say it now if you don't know, he did a shoot interview years ago, like on some random radio show. I can't even remember what it was, but I heard this particular bit. And apparently the gay community, a gay person called up the show while AJ was being interviewed.
They love AJ.
They love AJ. And he was telling AJ that he's like a big symbol amongst the gay wrestling community. And you know how Christian he is, right? He doesn't even swear, dude.
He stays from down there in the Bible Belt, baby.
Dude, he freaked out, man. He goes, who? In his accent, I picture that. And he goes, the F words. The F words. The Fages he brought up. Fages, not, you know what I'm trying to say, right? And he's like, who? The Fages? And he quickly, like, hanged up, dude, and, like, basically ran off. Like, he was offended, dude. Like, legitimately offended. And I laughed when he said that. I'm like, God damn it, AJ, you're a character, man. And that's what he's referring to. But it was funny as hell if you ever hear it. I don't know if you can still find it. It's been years since I've heard it. But if you hear it, you'll absolutely laugh the way he reacts to it, man. He freaked.
All right, I'm back there. Had to get my blue brand Gatorade in. Hey, let's look at.
Stop lying, Zane. You know I'm right about that. And you're bringing that up. He likes doing this with me.
Yes,
God damn it, Zane.
Well, hey, you know who likes a good rib? Who is the king of it here, the king of comedy and side of professional wrestling. He is a national treasure. He is R-Truth. This just popped me. I wanted to get it out there to let the Army see it if they had not. But R-Truth from his Twitter. I don't know. Have you ever been on R-Truth's Twitter? Just go over and spend some time. He's got a lot of great stuff up there.
Oh, he's great, dude. As a matter of fact, I think I accidentally forgot to upload that.
Oh, you
damn! I saw it though. Why is it not there? I can bring it up technically.
So all right. So when you're uploading those, real quick, I'll ask you: don't do them all at once because it never takes all of them. You got to do them one at a time.
Oh no, I don't do it all at once. I do it individually. But for some reason, I don't know why I didn't upload that. I uploaded everything else, but for some reason that didn't come up. But while I get that, continue what you were about to say about Truth anyway.
Oh, I mean, really without the prop, it kind of no. But
God damn it.
Yeah, we'll come back to it here. Let's just keep moving and grooving here. Jimmy, you talked at the top of the show. Some people weren't as happy with this week's SmackDown. Let me put a little twist on that for you before we jump into some of the bullet points and developments here. Again, in 1 month from now, we're going to be sitting down on a Sunday. That also happens to be, it's 4/20, the big weed holiday. So they'll be going to be rocking and rolling over at Raven's Joint that day. It's WrestleMania Sunday. It's going to be Smack Attack Sunday. It's also Easter Sunday here in the United States. So we're going to have a lot going on that day, my friend. So we're going to have to come
Monday
up,
for me.
We'll have to come up with kind of our game plan. I guess we'll probably just do like a WrestleMania Night 2 pre-show that afternoon to get everybody ready to go.
Absolutely, I'm down for that. Actually, I'm quite interested in that.
Well, it's funny you say quite interested because I wanted to ask you, with a month to go, and I know a lot of people have been talking about the build or lack of build to this year's WrestleMania. How do you feel with a month to go? Are you super pumped for Vegas WrestleMania? Are you still on the fence? Where are you at?
Look, there's a lot of people that think this WrestleMania is going to suck in terms of match quality, which I kind of disagree about, right? I don't know why people are complaining about that, but I'm not hyped just yet. But I think as of this week, really, they're starting to get those wheels rolling with the hype, especially after what happened on SmackDown, obviously with a certain 3 people. Heck, even Orton and Owens.
Well, we've got quite a few. I mean, I thought there was a lot of development in things that we can really sink our teeth into, that we know are going forward. I guess I can. For me, I'm not down on this year's WrestleMania. I haven't given much thought to the match quality itself. I'm more of a character storyline. Get me hyped about what's happening going into the event. I think right now, though, where they have fallen short is for the stars that we do have. The big match we know is going down, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Not just the absence of John Cena. I understand his schedule. He doesn't. I'm not one of those that he has to be there every week, but we need some sort of presence that he is there in some form or fashion. If that's vignettes, if that's him, just satellite from on set wherever he's at. That, to me, that's the story. And in going back to the preview last week, I thought Cena did a masterful job in his delivery. I
I
think
heard you and Paz actually talk about it.
It was effective. You know, the crowd reaction that you wanted. I just don't like the story they're telling with it.
Well, yeah, because first of all, what did it have to do with Cody initially? Really nothing.
Nothing. He just happens to be the champ. Even further more than that, the way that they went with the direction with Cena saying, you know, the fan, he was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, but
so and again, so I would have preferred the story that is more realistic to the situation of he's moving on. He's going to Hollywood. I think that's an easier. You can get a lot more heat out of that.
So easy, absolutely. And I don't understand how we didn't think of that.
Well, in the story they're telling now, completely makes The Rock irrelevant to everything that happened.
Yeah, because he didn't explain why he joined The Rock.
Right. There was why did he? They could have done this entire thing without The Rock's involvement, and it probably would have been better.
I get why because it's the impact of it. It hits harder when you see that initial sort of.
Kenny F from Powers, thank you for joining us, brother.
Hey,
but you didn't need him, so now you've kind of just confused everything.
I blame The Rock
just for the sake of putting Rock in there. So I don't know. So overall, I mean, great job in it. All right, but so to my point, we haven't gotten enough out of that. Essentially, we have gotten one night of hype out of that. Two nights if you count the turn, one follow-up there.
And it led to nowhere, to be fair.
And inside of that, it should have been, you know, on the SmackDown we're going to talk about, we saw a couple incidents where it was on site.
Absolutely.
Cody Rhodes should have been on site Monday. Dude kicked you in the balls and left you there to get the crap whooped out of you by a rapper that many don't even think should ever been in that ring. That took liberties with you. Now I will say this. It sunk into my mind. As I was watching it, and I'm thinking to myself, this should be on site. Cody should just be coming out here to whoop some ass. I'm thinking about what Vet has always preached to us. We need to talk people into the fight. Don't give it to them.
Right. Exactly.
So this is the case where you're
selling the fight to everybody, not fucking giving it to them.
Right? I know. So this should have been the point where Cody is coming out to take care of business instead of just give a little speech. But Cena, being the star that he is, has it on lockdown with extra security and people to make sure that Cody's not getting anywhere near
like
him.
A full coward.
Right. To get that heat.
Simple. But it seems like simple doesn't work for a lot of these guys. They don't think, and personally, I do believe truly that it's The Rock's fault with all of this in some ways. I think The Rock inserting himself whenever he chooses to and then deciding not to insert himself and then there's no explanation is probably frustrating even for Cena for all we know. Right? We don't know that, but I'm just speculating right now.
And there was some rumor that they called that on the fly, you know, The Rock's involvement because they were worried about some things about ticket sales, things like that. Who knows?
Believe that.
Who knows when they came up with this entire thing? It's to me, they've chosen one direction. It seems to be working for the audience. To me, it's just the lesser of the possibilities that they went with. Stay on,
Rick,
go ahead.
Quickly, I just wanted to say, would have it worked in the US, though, if they actually did this in the US instead of Europe? Because the fact that they're in Europe, and especially in Brussels, where they never had a televised show ever until then, you know, the crowd's going to be automatically excited anyway.
Yeah,
I felt like they should have held off until the US.
You don't have time for that.
But that's true, too. That's their fault.
You don't have any time for that. You know, we're a month away, and they've still got another, week of shows. I mean, I know Raw's at least in London,
4
correct?
SmackDowns, 4 Raws to go, man, and we're off to WrestleMania. But the problem is, Rick, when are we seeing Cena again? I don't think he's built to be on this Monday.
He's advertised to be on. Yeah. It's part of the tour, so he will be there Monday.
Oh, yeah, he's still in Europe. They'll be in Scotland, I think, actually.
Scotland. I know he's advertised for something, so I believe it's this week. Another thing, we haven't seen much of Roman Reigns. We saw him at Madison Square Garden getting involved. So now that we finally have that match, which we'll hold off. But again, the biggest stars haven't been shining the brightest, and the matches that we are building towards seem to be the ones that the fans are least excited for. And in this case, without having the stars there and have to put a lot of focus on, say, the World Heavyweight Championship with Jey Uso and Gunther, I think that's hurt those guys a little bit.
It has. Absolutely has. Again, that's not Gunther's fault, though. He's just got to do what he's working with, what he's got to work with, unfortunately for him. The more I see now, I feel like Jey Uso, man, is choking. As we keep going towards WrestleMania, I feel like he's fading every week. Like, it's getting worse for him. You know what I mean? Where people aren't taking him serious as a credible main event guy, even though his name is main event Jey Uso.
But again, I think it is a case of that match for the first few weeks. That was the only one really announced, and it had to carry the weight. Right. And I don't know if that was fair to these performers because they weren't necessarily ready for that spot. If Gunther and Jey could have just had a nice little spot in the background, had their few moments, I think people would be much more excited for this. It's more of a case where less is more, especially with, and I'm sorry, I know this is for a World Heavyweight Championship, but this is mid-card.
This sounds bad, dude, in that sense, but it's true. And I hate that more for Jey and Gunther. I think it's not Gunther's fault. I think Gunther is ready for that spot. But Jey, he's exposing himself a little bit, man, since he's won the Rumble. And I feel like he's feeling that pressure and he knows it. And it's sort of making him panic a little bit where he's stuffing up his promos. But he does that regularly too, man. He's not a good promo guy when he has to, like, think on the spot, if you know what I mean. The only time he's good is when he believes what he's saying is true. Do you know what I mean? That's when he's more passionate and more into it.
Well, we do have some more developments, official announcements for WrestleMania, and it all happened on this week's Blue Brand, this week's SmackDown from, where are they at?
Bologna, Italy.
Bologna, Italy? You like bologna?
I don't mind bologna, actually.
Well, fried bologna?
No, I never had fried bologna, actually.
That's
disgusting.
Different.
Well, they're not in bologna.
It's a big poor man's treat here in the States. Fried bologna.
You guys love bologna. That's all I hear.
No, it's disgusting. I'll eat about anything, but fried bologna is disgusting.
Why would you fry bologna, though, dude? I don't get it.
I mean, usually things are better fried, but bologna is just disgusting either way. So
not bologna.
Yeah.
Not bologna. But anyway, I don't know about you, Zane. And you're right, by the way. It was AJ saying the gays. I got it mixed up. That's what he said, and freaked out. So I'll give him credit for that. But he says I ain't hood enough for fried bologna.
Yes, you got to be hood, baby. You got to be ready to go.
He says, what do you mean poor?
It's poor and hood, baby. That's what it is.
Man, our hood shit is fucking fantastic noodles. I don't know if you guys have got that shit, but it's just disgusting. But anyway, Gruss says, Jimmy T, a fried barbecue Bologna sandwiches, delicious. Don't knock it till you try it. I'm not knocking it, actually, because I've never tried it. So
do you got bologna down there? Do you have it available at the grocery store?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Next,
some week we're gonna go get you some bologna and have you fry it up and try it on air.
God, live. Yeah, it'll be called the Snack Attack instead of the Smack Attack.
Yeah, we'll have our snack for WrestleMania. Maybe we'll do that. We'll have our snacks ready.
Sponsored by RBV Eats. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, so we are in Bologna, Italy. The crowd is rocking. As you said, these European crowds, they are ready to go. And hey, so when you're going to open these shows up, you want sing-alongs. So we get 7 minutes of a sing-along as Randy Orton kicks things off.
Dude.
The Viper comes to the ring. But really before he can get going, he is interrupted by KO. Kevin Owens makes his way into there. I like the venue setups. I like the tight entrances that they've got during these shows. Over here, it has that much rugged feeling. Everything's closer.
Because the arenas in Europe seem really rugged, if you've noticed, like compared to like all our arenas and stuff. You know what I mean? It feels very like.
Well, you guys out there, you have a lot of new development where that money's just been, the last 10, 15 years you've been building.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. All our shit is new. Like your guys' shit is all new. Like, but
Right.
here in Europe, it comes across as really rugged and like almost like hood arenas. Like really, they probably should have been demolished a long time ago, but they're still there, and that's still their main arenas. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of like that. It gives you a different sort of feeling.
Most of that shit was demolished during World War II. But Kevin Owens is out here. He wants to bury the hatchet. He was wrong.
Yeah.
He was wrong. He wasn't wrong for what he's done to Cody Rhodes. He wasn't wrong for what he did to Sami Zayn. They deserved it. But Kevin Owens, he was wrong to go after Randy Orton. And KO is here to not just ask, but beg for forgiveness. And not just forgiveness here. He wants to extend an olive branch of not just friendship, but to build bridges, a bond, to create a tag team. He proposes that they don't battle each other, that Kevin Owens and Randy Orton reunite, as they were so close in the past before they let silly differences get in the way. He wants to, that's all gone. Water under the bridge. Kevin Owens, he wants to team up with Randy Orton and go to WrestleMania to challenge for the tag team titles. And you know, at first, this had me a little intrigued. As we've talked about it over a couple of weeks, how weak this tag division is. How the state of it is so sad. I'm thinking, you know what? We need some star power. Maybe this could work. These guys, they know that they could destroy each other, but what if they align together and just turned that focus against other individuals? They could be one hell of a wrecking machine. So it had me intrigued for a moment, but then the Viper, I was going to say the rattlesnake, the Viper,
the rattlesnake.
He just
snake, you know.
Yeah, he sinks those fangs in and gets that venom and absolutely kills any idea of that.
But he not only killed it, but I felt like this was one of his best promos I've heard in a long time. I'm not going to lie. I really liked his promo, dude.
It was decent. I thought it was a little cheesy in there, you know, because, all right, Randy says,
bitch,
no way.
Bitch. You know,
bitch Owens, bitch. I thought it used to be fight Owens, fight. Now it's bitch Owens, bitch. He pretty much tells him to take the offer, stick it up his ass.
He should have said up his culo since I win Italy, you know what I mean? But he missed it.
And, you know, God, what did he say? Oh, when he dropped
his voice is in his head.
Yeah,
too, by the
that was a little cheesy. All right. Then I was like, all right. Now we're pandering a little too much.
He played sing along with his own fucking song like a marktard, literally.
Well, he knew how to work that audience. So they don't leave those guys alone sometimes when you're trying to do your business in the ring. But again, you know what? So we get the match. This is happening. He says he is going to kick his ass. He's going to kick his head off. Not just kick his ass.
Yeah.
He's going to kick his head off and kick it up his ass at WrestleMania. So we are getting Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. It has been made official. I'm liking this. I like these matches, especially for WrestleMania, where there's more on the line. It is personal, where we're not just getting like a contendership or a championship.
It's all personal. Nothing to do with business. It's just personal. I bet you this is going to open up night one. I feel.
I strongly disagree. I still think your night one opener is going to be the heavyweight championship, Uso and Gunther.
Right now, I'm going to stick to what I said, but I might change that come closer to Mania, depending on how builds are going. But we'll get to that when we do the prediction show.
I was going to say, we're not doing a prediction show. We're doing a hype show, a pre-show.
Oh,
we'll work that.
Okay, that's even better. That's different. That's different. I like it.
But I just think it would just be such a waste to have that energy to open up the show night one with the yeet movement. That's what that match is going to be about. It's going to be about the visuals.
Dude, it sounds like when you say yeet movement, I keep thinking like of a yeast movement for some reason. And that's not a good thing. I'm just saying. I think this yeet thing is getting way overboard at this point, and he's gassing himself out every time he does it. I don't know, man. But when you call yourself main event Jey Uso and you're going for the world championship and you're on the first match, what do we call him? Opening Jey Uso? Opening match Jey Uso? I mean, what is he?
You guys are all into those. The main event doesn't necessarily, to me, it never meant it has to go last. The main event is the match that draws people in. It can go anywhere on the show. but
right.
it's neither of those. So it is what it is. Nickname's a nickname.
Opening Jey Uso it is. Well, yeah, but I don't know, man. A lot of people, you're not the only one saying that. I'm still
Jerker
on the
Jey
fence.
Uso, baby.
There you go. Curtain jerker Jey Uso. I like that one. That's even better.
I like it, man. So
that's harsh, though.
So, we've been talking about in this undercard here for a couple weeks how this thing is going to play out. So now we know the path for certain of Orton and KO. We're going to get the very personal match between these two. Now we've got those answers. What's going to be going on with Orton and KO? Seemingly here, we haven't got the official announcement. I expect we're going to get it next week. 2 more names that are real big in this mid card. We're going to throw around a bunch of them here, but we'll put these 2 out here because it seems like they are destined for a very personal program at WrestleMania. And that is Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Of course, on this show, they were in tag action as Priest teamed up with Big Jim, old Slim Jimmy, and Drew to take on Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. Hey, this match, a big hitters match. This was our first match of the evening. To me, one of those matches, maybe we could have trimmed this, got some airtime for somebody else, some other talents here.
It was weird pairings too, in my opinion. So especially Nakamura and McIntyre, like really.
Well, as we had talked about, well, it makes sense. They are the heels here. Obviously, Drew doesn't have any friends, but we've been speculating. Were Priest and McIntyre, were they going to get their own direction? Were they going to be lumped in with these other names in the U.S. title picture that we're going to talk about? Where does Nakamura play into this thing with all the rumors about their contract coming up, not going to be extended? Maybe he's just going on leave. I took away a few things from this. First and foremost, we are getting Priest and McIntyre one-on-one. We'll officially get that. We'll officially get that announced. The clean pin is maybe that's the write-off for Nakamura, or the serious downgrade where we shouldn't focus on him or look for any major role at WrestleMania?
I can't see him in a match. There's no way, unless it's the Andre
something, whatever the big cluster match is.
Right.
But what really stood out to me here is Jimmy Uso inside of this match, where he has been more of a focal in that U.S. title picture, which is blatantly coming out saying, hey, I want this match, not just want the match for the championship, the U.S. championship, wanted it at WrestleMania. So now we've got Priest, McIntyre. We'll go ahead and throw everybody in here because they also had another segment on the show that involved Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu, where we did see a lot of wheels in motion around the U.S. championship. I was a little surprised that we saw Big Jim earlier in the night, but didn't see him resurface during all this U.S. title stuff.
Maybe there's not a spot for him, man, which is
bad. I think it was maybe just a slip up in the booking. They could have used him in both spots. They just didn't want to run him out there. Because also, as we mentioned, you have Braun versus Jacob Fatu in a one-on-one match. We learned going to that match that the winner is going to get a U.S. championship match next Friday on SmackDown. But we have, again, quite a big cluster going on here. Fatu gets disqualified when Segolo and Tama jump into the ring. And what I really liked here is instead of just jumping in and continuing helping out with the beatdown, Fatu is legitimately pissed off. He knows what his family just cost him.
Right, him and Solo, man. They're building those seeds, dude. Or planting, not building.
Right, and they have each said, expressed, hey, they want that opportunity. They want that U.S. championship. So now we know we got Braun next week versus LA Knight, the champion. You've got Jacob Fatu, who wants that. You got Solo that wants in there. We know that Big Jim wants into that. Again, to me, this
ladder match is still going to
screams into that ladder match they love throwing together for these WrestleManias.
I'm still on the fence. I need to see more evidence of a multi-man. Like if they're going to bring in more people, and so far they are adding people. Right now, you're on the right track. I need one more week to see what's going to happen. If they're going to add even more guys, then I'll totally agree with you. I'm 100%. I'm still just sort of sitting on the fence about it. But I'm about to fall off, put it that way.
But the other side of that is, as we're watching SmackDown, we're kind of getting those same vibes in the U.S. title picture. If you've got all of these contenders, we're getting that exact same energy almost path to WrestleMania with the tag division.
Right. I mean,
because each and every week it's like there's, either 6 individuals or 6 tag teams that are making stakes that they want this opportunity.
Right. And unfortunately, the tag division, I can see that if whatever's going to happen with the tag matches, I got a feeling it will be a pre-show match and not actually on the main card.
Wow. 2 nights of these 2 nights. And, we've only a month ago and we really only have 6 matches announced. They're going to start loading up with these. They're going to start loading up with what's going on, and of course, and I'm going to just be honest here. I have no idea what's going on with the tag division on Raw. I hit Raw for highlights.
What tag division? The War Raiders are pretty much champions. That's so
it's the War Raiders and the New Day, correct?
I thought it was Judgment Day they wrestled last. I'm probably wrong.
All right, I know
it's irrelevant anyway.
Okay,
there is nothing. There's the New Day, of course. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was New Day last Monday. Whatever the case, there is really nothing. I can't take anyone seriously right now. Not only the War Raiders I can't take seriously, even though they're your tag champs, I can't take anyone actually even taking the belts that are worthy enough right now to be called champs. The tag division.
So somehow it sounds like the Raw division is even worse than the SmackDown tag division.
There's really only 2 or 3 tag teams tops, like on Raw, that are actual tag teams that I can think of right now. It's pretty bad, actually. The whole WWE
they really might not. They might be like a pre-show for representing the red brand at WrestleMania.
I've got a feeling, dude. That's what's going to happen with them.
We do have. We'll talk about this tag team segment here because I've got a couple notes here. Again, complete where the U.S. title picture at least have some stars involved in it. You're interested to see which direction they want to go. Complete lack of star power for this tag division outside of the champs themselves. The Street Profits.
And that's, using the term lightly when I say star power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're using it. We get a curve,
Absolutely.
On the grading scale.
But where did it go wrong? It just sort of happened. It just really sort of disintegrated really out of the blue, feels like. You know what I mean?
Well, it seems like Triple H was like, okay, we're going to make an effort with these tag teams, especially this blue division, but none of them are over. He brings in the machine guns flat. He goes back to the cupboard, back to the well again with DIY flat. Pretty deadly, not over.
Unfortunately, sorry, Chris Whelan, by the way. But yes, boy, you're right.
The LWO on version, SmackDown version.
Little World Order?
Yeah.
Everyone's small except for the Raiders, dude. Everyone's actually, wait.
Let me ask you this, though.
We got Tez also and Dawkins.
Outside of just the complete lack of enthusiasm that the audience has for the SmackDown tag division, except, the Street Profits. Absolutely. They've been wanting the smoke, but they've been bringing the fire the past month. What the hell happened to that? Now they're back out there pandering. They're happy, lucky go selves that they were. Where was that? What changed? Just because they won the championships, now they got to go back to being just your typical run of the mill baby faces. They completely, like on Friday night, went flat as to me. I almost lost complete interest in them.
And it's not their fault, man. WWE keep doing them wrong for some freaking reason. I have no idea why. Every time they have some sort of momentum, it feels like WWE just pull the rug right from underneath them, and I don't get it, dude. I don't know what to tell you when it comes to that. They went
from, when they were with Lashley in that group, man, it was like, yes.
Wow.
This is the seriousness that we want with them. And then they lose Lashley, they disappear, and they come back pissed off. I'm sorry, it's still true. Pissed off black guys are over.
Absolutely.
Now, this smiling, we happy to be here. That style, we don't need that. We need the Profits to have that fire, that energy. Put this winning. Those tag belts shouldn't have been the end all be all. It is to elevate this division, to redefine it as you see fit. and they completely threw that away.
Do you think they should sort of start creating new tag teams with the roster they have right now, even if it means having 2 stars or more?
At least to give some sort of sense of star. I mean, that was the intrigue at the top of the show when Kevin Owens teased him and
That's
Randy.
what I'm saying. And that's what I was kind of alluding to. Like, do you think they should sort of go that direction, even if it's just an emergency sort of situation? Like temporary, even to do it just temporarily for now, just to build something.
I would almost suggest, and kind of going back to what you and that were talking about this morning, if you're looking for spots for people, let's create some teams. But again, it does seem like that under this Triple H regime that they tried to do this, but it just failed.
But miserably. And you know what?
Like Russ talking about that with Austin Theory, A-Town Down. I mean, those guys look like $1 million. They've got some personalities.
The only other guys that actually can be worthy and actually are pretty decent. You know what I mean? Just true. They're the only other ones. That's it. Russ? Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's true. That's Vince McMahon heat for whatever reason, man. I feel like since he got the flick, unfortunately for Austin Theory, he's been treated bad since. Let's be honest, Rick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling on it. I get a little love down there over on Twitch as well. Welcome aboard.
Oh, yeah. Whoever that is. Trying to sell us some cheap views, apparently, Rick.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. So we do know on our undercard and our tag division here, we do have the official announcement: Orton versus Kevin Owens. We've got that match. We're fairly certain. We're expecting here in the next week, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in another personal program match 100%. At WrestleMania. Still up in the air. Maybe we get both of them in the cluster matches. Ladder matches or something like that, multi-person, multi-team, whatever. There's a lot of questions still surrounding the U.S. Championship with the names of the champion, LA Knight. Braun Strowman's getting a singles match next week. I expect a bunch of shenanigans to go down inside of that match. And the other people that have made it known they would like to challenge for that in Solo, Fatu, and Big Jim. And, of course, there is the wild card floating around in that entire thing of Nakamura and where he stands with the company. And, of course, as we just talked about with the tag team, every segment there, every tag team has something to say about everybody else, and they want their opportunity. So let's see how they narrow this thing down here in the next month.
Do you build even Legado del Fantasma all over again? Because they've killed them off too, to be fair.
I think they're just going to – they'll be one of those teams, if we're going with a multi-team match, they'll be thrown in there just someone to take the bumps and the beating.
Take the pin. That's it. Exactly. You're right. It is what it is. I just don't understand how they've derailed a lot of these tag teams to the point where they're just ice cold, dude.
No. So well, I'll tell you what wasn't ice cold on this program. Lots of love for the ladies. 3 ladies segments on this show. We'll run those down here. Let's start them off here. Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan. This match was announced. Their little personal beef. We're going to get a little payoff here on SmackDown. So, yeah, let's just get the visual. Yeah. How about that there? A pinning attempt. What's up with Jade Cargill in her Theo Von hairdo for this week's SmackDown?
You didn't just go there, but now I see it, bro.
You cannot unsee it now.
Fucking, why'd you say that, dude? Why'd you say that? I never thought about it, but she does have the fucking Theo Vaughn mullet happening right now, dude. I mean, look at it. Look at it. No fringe. Yes. like full-blown redneck stop. What is up with that? Why did she do that? Now I'm going to call it Theo.
It's part of that culture, man. Theo
it's not part of the culture, bro.
Theo
that hairstyle is not.
Yes.
God. Anyone that's, and I know, Zane, I'm looking at you. Is that hairstyle part of the culture? Be honest.
Hey, that's the Theo. That's what we're calling that there. And Jade's got the Theo, and she's going back to catering to get some of that fried bologna in Bologna.
Oh, God.
That's what's on the menu. That's what's for dinner tonight, Jimmy T.
Well, There's a thing called here, I feel like chicken tonight. That's actually a commercial and they sing it. True story. Don't know why I said that.
We had that commercial like in the 80s.
Oh,
Hey,
did you
know what?
Oh,
Gus, bring it up here. Liv Morgan is a true VIP of the women's division.
yeah, because she's very sexualized, all right? She loves sex sales. She knows it too, man.
You know what? I actually had in my notes here, I wanted to put over Liv Morgan and just be completely honest. I have done a 180 on her. I used to see zero value.
Really?
I thought
You know
she
what?
should
Me
have been
too.
cut years ago. Obviously a cute girl, but I mean, to me, she looked way too young. I used to, make the jokes. She was the pedo bait, that young looking girl. The work that she did, she started to win me over. She started to win me over during her work with Rhea, where she really helped carry that women's division where so many people were gone. She was the point of interest. I know it's disheartening to her fans to see her really fall off, take a back seat during this WrestleMania. I think that's a test to her to see how she handles it. She did. Hey, it's all great when they ask you.
They do this too
during the down periods to carry the company, but now you start bringing stars back, seemingly bringing your Charlottes come back, whoever the case might be. Even there's more men stars coming back, so that's eating up airtime. Now, how do you react when you got to take a step back? Are you still going to go out there and just rock it, perform to the best of your capabilities? And I think she is doing that. There's a lot. If you really just watch her and her mannerisms, her body language, how just the little subtleties that she's doing in that ring, I truly think now she fully understands that character. Or maybe she's just living it.
Wow. She that is, too, possibly.
And the perfect compliment with Raquel out there. I mean, it is scary. The vibes and feeling it gives you going back to Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
It's literally that. That's exactly what they've
conjured. The way that she is moving, just inside of that ring, it's not even bell to bell, just as she's entering the ring, the way her entrance, it is very 1990s Shawn Michaels. She's really just a sexy broad. She's got all of that. Even out of her ring gear reminds me of it. I think there might be, in some instances, a little too much pandering. Like when she was doing the Three Amigos spot in this, she was really getting to that kind of, she does a good little shake and shimmy. She has been putting some time in that gym, firming up that body. Oh, she looks phenomenal.
If there was a fifth man award in pro wrestling, in this case, fifth woman award, she would be it. Like, I'm probably using the wrong analogy because really she's the most improved wrestler in WWE in many ways.
I think she is.
About it, right?
In the last 5 years.
100%.
Even in this match. Is this the longest Jade Cargill match that we've seen, even going back to AEW?
Absolutely, for sure.
The longest, and I think her best. And I'm gonna give the credit to Liv Morgan as a general in this one.
I was gonna say, do you think she's finally graduated to general at this point?
I think it is. I think she did a great job. It was the right choice here. They further a storyline. They protect a tag team champion. They protect a star. And I think Liv, with the right push, the right marketing, which is going to be huge, their merch machine behind her, I think she could be one of the true breakouts to maybe redefine this women's division here in the next couple of years.
I agree, and I'll be honest, I was like you. I didn't rate her at all, but she literally won me over, man, and that's a testament to her. She's really that good. I didn't know she had it in her, man. I don't know what made her change, per se, but because there was a point where she was just young and dumb.
It's those miles on the tires. It's that bump card, nice. and then it clicks. It finally hits you. And she was given that opportunity to run at the top of that division. The work, especially while Rhea was gone, for her to pretty much put the entire Raw women's division on her shoulders and carry it, really elevated her.
100% agree with you, man. I mean, she's literally like an MVP of the women's division in many ways. I totally agree, man. 100%.
Again, we regularly see in the men's division, this guy has this and comparable to an a former legend. I see so much that she could bring out of the Heartbreak Kid and bring that for the women's division.
Imagine she was the Sherry of the time back then to Sean. Just say, I think that would have been a great pairing, actually.
There's nobody better than Sherry. I've got Sherry.
Oh, no,
I
got
Sherry up in like my top all-time performer. She was so good. We could do an hour show on her.
I love Sherry. Scary Sherry, sensational Sherry. Either Sherry, it doesn't matter. She's truly a legend, dude. Absolutely agree with that.
But yeah, props to Liv there. The match itself, I thought was a good call. Protect Liv here. Put a little more heat on Naomi and Jade. Into WrestleMania, people are talking about match quality. I think that match is going to be pretty interesting to see how it plays out. Is Naomi, because she's going to have to play that role. She's the veteran in this thing. Is she going to be able to carry Jade at WrestleMania?
No.
I think, and if you got the right agent inside of that, and you can protect them, go out there, don't have them do anything difficult. This is personal. This is another one of those that you can get into. There's a lot of fire there because it is personal.
Absolutely agree with you, man. I'm kind of looking forward to it too. I just feel that Naomi kind of is. I feel like she's out of place still, even though it's sort of all about her and Jade mainly per se. But she can't carry a match, especially with someone like Cargill. I hope I'm wrong, and she could prove.
We're gonna find out. There's no bigger stage to find out if you're ready.
Absolutely. I mean, we will find out, and hopefully she doesn't bring Theo Von's hairdo with her. But like Zane said earlier, Jade is Jade. He doesn't want to comment pretty much about it, and I don't blame him because it's too weird. She doesn't usually bring that dude with her.
Yeah, so the be interesting to watch there. We also had our second, that we're going to talk about, women's segment here. We had Piper Niven in action against Zelina Vega. This match was set up last week when Vega asked for an opportunity at the U.S. Championship, and Piper being any good security chief would do, she stepped in and said, no, you're going to have to get through me first. Match went a little long for me, but I was surprised. Very surprised. Piper picks up a win. I mean, anyone with any logic or sense watching this thing would believe that Piper would just go out there and smash Zelina Vega. But yeah, going into this thing, did you think she had any chance of winning this?
Who's Vega?
No, Piper.
Well, yeah, really, if you look
she
at
loses,
it.
I can't even remember last time she's won anything.
But really, she should beat
someone
I'm not saying should.
I'm not saying should, but they usually don't do that. I was shocked by it.
But I'm glad they did go the way they did because, let's be honest, I mean, realistically, who would win that in a real match, say? I know who I'm putting my money on. It's not Zelina, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. I'm not disagree with you in that sense, but I'm talking about in what we know from WWE booking. I honestly cannot remember the last time that Piper has won anything.
I can't even answer that question because neither can I, to be honest.
So I figured she'd go out, get the upper hand, dominate, with the power, probably like 75% of this match, and then just some kind of big slip up at the end would cost her the match. Vega gets the win and gets a championship opportunity. I will say one thing with Piper. If we're going to commit to the bit, she is the chief of security here for Chelsea Green.
Right.
Then let's switch that ring here. Whatever the hell that Roman Gladiator, whatever.
Wait. Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, I'm envisioning her. I want her to kind of look the role of like a Big Bubba Rogers, like back in the day, the enforcer. Keep her suit on her.
Ray Trailer?
Yeah, as Big Bubba, not as a cop.
Right. But, I get you. I know.
Or keep her in all black with the security.
So we talk about WCW version, basically.
Yes. Or keep her earpiece in where during the match she's getting instructions from Chelsea. And she's checking to him before hitting a big power move or something like that. Let's commit to it. Let's keep this thing going. I don't like the change with the ring gear. Let's keep it going.
That would be funny as hell. I'm sorry. I just had this image in my head of Big Bubba Rogers.
Right?
But in this case, it's Big Bubba Niven.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like it.
She's got a real thumb bump. The thumb bump will sort of...
Big
Come out in all his glory.
Piper Niven, man. Let's do it here. I also got a suggestion here for any match that involves Piper or Fire. We have a picture-in-picture so that we can see Chelsea at all times.
Yeah.
That she's always
That
a visual on her screen. And I did, it's just a shout-out for WWE marketing. Absolutely brilliant. They are probably selling shitloads of these over on this European tour. You had the Euro football legacy belt
I can't believe
advertisement up on the screen there. I bet you they are selling these like crazy. They do them here in the States where you can get any NFL team, get a customized championship belt. They have every town they go to has a customized T-shirt now that resembles a local pro sports team.
Absolutely.
Those are selling like crazy. I don't know. I like the idea with these belts here. And did you notice this ad? They kept it up on the screen for like 75% of this match. It was weird.
Did they? Because
maybe it was just the feed that I had.
Yeah, no, because I watched it on Netflix, for example, and I don't get the commercials if you got premium.
Okay, so I was rewatching this morning, and it was giving me back in. So it was showing me the commercial breaks without the commercial. So you could tell when they were slowing down. The commentary wouldn't say as much.
It's weird, dude.
I don't know. It took me a bit to figure out, like, wait a minute. And then I saw the timer, and I was like, wait a minute. I'm at commercial break right now.
That's a new thing. They never used to do that about 3-4 weeks ago. For some reason now, the last couple of weeks, they're kind of doing that on the regular, which is funny.
Yeah, as Zane's pointing out, you can get NFL championship belt for everyone except the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's true. TK had a tantrum, dude. The petty guy that he is. He's like, no, we don't want this shit. Why, TK?
Gruff saying Piper Niven is cosplaying Awesome Kong. That's what, but it looks like that Roman gladiator kind of shit to me. I like saying there, a Mr. Hughes guy though. That's the look I want with
Curtis
Piper.
Hughes. God.
Big Bubba Rogers, Mr. Hughes. That's the look I think that Fire and Niven should have all the time. That Secret Service kind of look.
Even the fade, the high fade?
Yeah, we'll even do that shit for you, all right? we'll
I don't know, man. Whatever it is, I hate it freaking... look, no offense. Some Scottish people sound cool, but on the chick, it kind of sounds too rugged for me. Maybe, like, not that she can help it, but I don't know. They need to do something with Piper. Bring out some more character, like you're pretty much alluding to. Like, give me more about her, like, and whatnot. Don't just have her as just like the lackey to Chelsea, pretty much, security.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's her role. That's her role.
Right.
But let's let that shine.
Right, Mr. Hughes, it is.
Yeah, I like those looks. I'm just something that can give people a visual, even inside the ring. But hey, it was nice to see her get a win and get treated with even though it was the underhanded win. But the heels, that's what you're going to get with them. So
yeah, like you said, it was a rare win too, no less. And at least she did get her comeuppance, so I'll give him that.
Do you see the Women's U.S. Championship and Chelsea and her crew with the great work they're doing there? Are they going to get any love and get a spot at WrestleMania?
Oh, I think so. Surely you got to have Chelsea on there. But in saying that, I can also see it as a pre-show match.
Jimmy T, like, all right, so you're gonna have like the pre-show is gonna be like 6 hours with you. We're gonna have,
well, for WrestleMania, they do kind of stack it, sort of a little bit. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I would like to think that she's good enough, and they see her as good enough to actually be on the main card.
All right, well, a match we know that's going to be on the main card now. Where it's going to exactly be is the Women's Championship. It's titty time.
Oh, dude.
Tiffany and time. Charlotte in a sit-down, split-screen interview.
Dude.
There's a lot to break down. First and foremost, I like the idea here. It's not in a ring. It's not drawn out. This thing was short and sweet. They tried to get their points across. No pun intended there for titty time. But, hey, even this is – I did see this buzz. Immediately saw this after it aired on Friday. The IWC, Tiffany just got owned, exposed a little bit here. Not a good outing.
You took the words. She exposed herself bad, dude, in this segment. This made Cha-Cha look exactly who she is on a different level, bro. And I was going to say the same thing. I felt bad for freaking Titty Time, dude.
Well,
I really did.
and I'm thinking too, this is a pre-tape, and that's the best you could get out of her.
They didn't even edit it properly, dude. She was choking on her words. Like she didn't. It was almost like she was going off the cuff, for real.
Well, what do we regularly talk about with her? Why? Why should we like her? What is, what personality traits make her desirable for the fans who cheer her? And now that she has to try to play that baby face, she's lost because they don't know what that is. She does not, as much as we just praise Liv for understanding her character, Charlotte knows who she is.
Absolutely.
Tiffany Stratton has zero clue. And let's not forget here, she's still green as hell.
And this really showed in terms of promo game, dude. She sucked.
Yeah.
Like, sucked. I mean, Charlotte destroyed her in every sense, dude. Like, and it made me realize, you know what? I take back a lot of the shit I say about Cha-Cha. She proved that she's just there's Titty Times, there's even others, but then there's Charlotte who's right up there, and then there's a gap. Like there's absolute daylight after that.
Charlotte did pop me as Tiffany was like, well, you don't even know if the fans love or hate. And she said they woo or they boo, baby.
Or boo.
And I liked it. And she said it on tremendous point. She said it with confidence.
And schmucky too. Like, if you know what I mean? Like, shut up, bitch. Don't even talk. She's
starting to understand herself again. And I do think each and every week that we're seeing her, she is looking better. Obviously, there was something up with her. There's a lot going on in her life. We can't begin to understand everything, the pressures that are happening. She is looking better each and every week.
She actually is, and I'm going to take back what I've been saying a lot lately. Heck, even the listeners seem like they're taking back a lot of things. Because, look, we got Gruss saying, please put the title on Charlotte. Suddenly people want Cha-Cha again. And Zane says, she's white and blonde. What are you saying, Zane? Are you calling her dumb? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're trying to allude to? And I know he's talking about Titty Time. Can't be talking about Charlotte, even though she's white and blonde also. But you get my drift.
So, I mean, I think it just showed, and maybe not just Tiffany. Obviously, Tiffany's going to be the one that we're focused on because she's on camera. She's the one out there just eating shit, looking terrible. But whoever agent this thing, whoever's coaching her up, it's obvious that they don't understand the character. The creative doesn't understand the character because, again, there is no desirable character involved with her. That whole thing is that she is a Valley. See you next Tuesday. That's it.
Man, I hate that because I agree with you and I don't want to agree, but she literally showed her true colors. She sucks compared to Charlotte. I'm sorry. She's great in the ring, no doubt about it.
I wouldn't even say that because going back last week to the brawl, the two big spots that she had, Charlotte was nowhere near being connected with on any of those. So she obviously, in a sea of people in black shirt security outfits that are 99% guys, she can't pick out the white blonde and target towards her to try to land her spot.
It's pretty bad. And look, Zane brings up a good point. They botched the spot by making her a face. But to be fair, Zane, I think the fans are the ones that really turned her into face and they ran with it for whatever reason.
Well, that was the thing. When you paired her up with Charlotte there, and there could be a bigger conversation here. Did WWE think that people were going to cheer Charlotte when she came back? And that would continue?
I did think that, it seemed.
So did that cause this swerve? That they thought that Tiffany was going to be the heel, the little brat that everybody hated, and Charlotte's going to be this grand champion returning to put the brat over the knee to straighten her out or whatever the case might be. They did a quick move with Trish because everybody loves Trish and she is so humbled now. We had talked about
big time.
We had talked about, that was Trish's character back in the day, what Tiffany is. But now Trish is that humbled, thank you for my career, appreciative to the fans. We had talked about where it would have been in the best interest of Tiffany to have an extended period with Trish Stratus to help her evolve, to realize, to appreciate
they were trying
fans.
that at first, weren't they?
Initially, for 2 weeks.
I know, it's only 2 weeks, but that's probably because of her schedule. And I'm talking about, Trish Stratus. But you could tell they were trying, obviously, for her to teach her something. But if you notice with Trish, was it just me or did she look frustrated, though, during that time? Especially her last match, she didn't seem herself.
It might have been that she kind of pushed into that, wasn't maybe completely in ring shape. She might not have liked the way things were going. There's a number of things.
Something's up, that's for sure, when it comes to everyone in this. In some ways, like you said, Charlotte's gone through, but she's starting to become back to herself, which is great. And at the perfect time, too, funny enough. And then you've got Tiffy, who's just choking, she was choking, dude. In this whole segment, she was like,
you know what? It's not even to get like I'm some GQ master or something like that. But her hair was out of place.
It was.
It looked like they took a freaking potato can and just loaded a bunch of makeup in that thing and shot her in the face.
It made her head look way too big, too. Like too zoomed.
It was like last week when you couldn't figure out where your camera was zoomed in on you, and it was.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a phenomenon going on, dude.
I didn't really realize that how over the top they go with her makeup until I saw something just floating around. Just her natural look.
Well, I've never seen her naturally. What did she look like?
Gorgeous.
Really?
Gorgeous. Tone it down, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. They got her looking like Krusty the Clown out there.
Man, oh God.
The camera shot didn't do her any favors. Whoever did her hair.
Her head is pretty big, though, Rick.
She had no idea what the hell she was saying. I mean, if you're sitting down to do a split screen interview like that, I mean, the agent should be at least she didn't even have time to talk.
Yeah, no, she looked bad, dude. Like I said, Charlotte destroyed it. It was like a rap battle. If this was a rap battle, she lost the second she opened her mouth, dude. Charlotte came back with she destroyed it, dude. It almost feels like they switching suddenly. Like Charlotte's going to become babyface again because of this.
Charlotte right now.
It's not going to happen.
Charlotte went to that complete bitch mode.
Right, but
I feel like
the fans are going to appreciate this version again, and now suddenly she's going to get cheered again.
And you got to play into it. And just tell the fickle fans off with that.
That's what she needs to do straight off the bat.
Don't fall back into that. Okay, we're going to pander to them BS.
Well, do you think they might tweener her a bit? Because, like she said, they're either going to boo or woo, right? So,
no, you keep this direction. Don't go with the tweeners. Tweeners never get over.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't work. It's never worked.
Well, it's you need to, and with a tweener, it means you're too wishy-washy. You're going back and forth. You need to know your character and commit to it.
I agree, man. You can't have it both ways, man. You could argue that Austin kind of was a tweener.
No, he was a tweener. He was an anti-hero.
Well, yeah, exactly.
He knew what he was, an anti-hero. He knew exactly who he was.
No, you're right. He definitely was the anti-hero, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that confuses some people.
No, because technically an anti-hero is kind of, it's gray. There's a lot of shades of gray, if you know what I mean. But you're right. He was the anti-hero.
Was going to be going back and forth.
Right. Austin didn't do that.
Yeah, Austin was true to the Austin character.
I agree.
He was going to kick everybody's ass.
Doesn't matter. Don't trust anybody, remember?
Right.
Yeah, DTA, right.
Well, one of the biggest mistakes ever, WrestleMania
was him turning heel, right.
Right, exactly. Is when he aligned with Vince. That was terrible.
Stupid was it? Terrible. I'll never
Bad
forget
for him and just damn near killed business.
Well, that was the beginning of the end of the, the high rate. Think about it, it was a slow decline after that, man. From 2001 till today. It was a slow and a very slow decline.
It truly was. I still remember, watching it with my friends. That's back when we used to have the pay-per-view parties. You get everybody together, and it was the spot to be. But everyone just kind of looked at each other like,
it was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was dumb, dude. It was stupid. It will always be stupid. And it got even more stupider as they tried to move on with that storyline at the time.
Yeah, it was sad.
But Zayn was right. He's right, too. It was going to decline. Once the Monday Night Wars was over, that was really the beginning of the slow decline. And when I say slow, it was extremely slow.
Yes. We also have another official match announcement, and this is big time. This is where we're going to switch our gears. We're going to talk about the main event scene. Big time. Main event scene. This was the big close to SmackDown this week. We get the OTC. Roman Reigns back on the blue brand.
In Bologna, Italy.
In Bologna. And Reigns, he wasn't coming for fried bologna.
No, he was coming for steamed bologna, it seemed.
I'd say he might have been coming for a couple of guys that he would describe as bologna. But Roman was here, and it was obvious. This was a call-out. He pretty much said, if you're going to get your ass out here, get your ass out here. And he is met by one first. Seth Rollins, representing the blue brand, decked out in blue, head to toe there.
He represents the red technically, but
Hey, you got to show a
little bluey love.
Yeah, bluey. You got to show that love, man. And then, of course, shortly after that, CM Punk makes his way into the arena. We get sing-alongs and chants from everybody for about 15 minutes.
Were they chanting in Italian at one stage too? Because there was at some points during this little thing that I didn't understand what they were saying.
Because that's what they speak.
Well, yeah, duh, of course. But no, really, there was points where I didn't understand what they were saying.
That's probably it then. Roman eats the finest of bolognas. Hey, you know who was eating quite a few bologna sandwiches in their day, and that's Paul Heyman.
Oh, man. He loves his bologna sandwiches, I'll tell you that.
He looks like a double-decker, extra bologna, extra mayo kind of guy,
that's harsh, dude. That's yuck. Extra mayo on bologna? Fried bologna?
Yeah.
That sounds feral, dude. That's just, yo.
Oh, you get it all sloppy on there, buddy.
I can see it on your face. You're not liking that. You're acting like you are, but I can see it.
I know how they eat it, baby.
Oh, yeah. Next week, Rick is going to try fried bologna
with
extra mayo.
Ooh. We're just renaming the show. That's it. Fried bologna and mayo.
I like it. It actually sounds, it's got a good ring to it, but no shit. I never want to try that.
I almost forgot what we were talking about. So
we're talking about the ultimate bologna in the OTC, CM Punk, and of course,
calling out the bologna boys, Seth Rollins, CM Punk.
In bologna country, no less.
In bologna country. We got, and then it gets bolognaed up as they start throwing down. We have got a 3-way fight here. They're having at it. You know, I had in my notes here, and I was trying to take a head count. It was like a quarter of the security involved in this thing to stop 3 heavyweight main event men than they had last week, separating Tiffany and Charlotte.
Oh my god!
And this one
they couldn't even stop the women, but now they can stop the men.
Yes. So
it's amazing. But it must be the bologna in Italy. It must be something else, dude.
Yeah, it just adds a little pop in the griddle there, baby. But so we do have it is official. It has been speculated on. Is the hype there for this triple threat, Jimmy?
I'm not going to lie. I felt like CM Punk, though, in particular, in this segment, right, looked like a little kid trying to get attention while the other two were still fighting all the time and not looking at him, if you know what I mean. At one point, you remember when he pointed to the WrestleMania logo, right? While he's pointing, WrestleMania, the other two were like, shut up. And they just kept going, just ignoring him. And then he got upset and it's like, I'm here too, remember? And starts hitting as well. But as far as the hype goes, on paper, I'm looking forward to it. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do from now moving forward. We didn't get anything really other than a big schmoz, to be fair, right? I want to see the mic work now moving forward. What are they going to say about each other? Because I feel like this is more a Seth Roman thing
in a way.
I don't
And
know.
Punk is the outsider a little bit, even though it makes sense with Punk because he's got history with the OG Shield. It was him that brought him in, if you remember.
And as keep on saying, I think the wild card here is the Wiseman.
He's siding with Bologna, Josh. That's that's who he's siding with.
I think that is the question. Who will, when we go over to the roast of WrestleMania, who will be fine dining on grilled bologna with the Wiseman? Will it be
nothing but the finest bologna?
Will it be who's regarded as the original Paul Heyman guy in CM Punk? Will it be the OTC? Could we get a swerve? Could
Yes.
the future,
You know what's gonna happen?
Could the future be Seth Rollins in Paul Heyman?
No, yuck. Imagine that, dude. Imagine Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins. Nah, you can't. Would that even work? That doesn't sound right for me.
Stranger, back in the day when the Shield broke up, everyone thought it was going to be Ambrose or if it was going to be Reigns that were going to defect, and we were shocked when it was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, but is it really shocking? He's pretty smug, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about Rollins. But
he's accomplished a great deal, and Heyman might see something that he could leech onto.
Oh my God. I don't know, man, but I like the sound of it only because it's completely different and completely from left field. You know what I mean? Which is intriguing, actually. But it just...
Could we get a situation where Heyman becomes the representative for the entire family, where he's representing Seth, Becky, and the baby?
Oh my God, no. And the...
Yes.
What's the baby's name again? I forgot. Dukes or something like that, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a weird name, no less. But if that happens and the baby, that would pop me. That would absolutely pop me. But
I'm picturing, you got Becky walking with a championship on one shoulder, Seth with a championship on the other shoulder. They're walking in the arena, and then Heyman with one of those baby carriers.
The stroller. He'd be like, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
That'd be
not the stroller, like the one you wear on you.
Oh. Front or back? It's got to be the front one, right?
Yeah, the front one.
Oh, boy. It sounds funny. I'm not going to lie. But then it gets too comedic if it was to do that. Even though it would pop me, right? It would literally pop me. But then how can you take it serious?
That's all I care about right now is the popping.
That's a good one, though.
Rocks, is that her name?
Yeah, something... Oh, yeah, Rooks or something like that. Yeah. It's a weird name, dude. Whatever. It's some Irish name, probably.
All right, Gruss is asking, I think, a big question, the conversation, the triple threat as we're talking about here, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Is this match a main event? I say
you think it is?
I say it main event's night one.
I've been saying this, and I'm kind of with Gruss. I'm not 100% sure if it is or not yet, but on paper, you think it is.
To me, it's not just about the guys are getting night two. It has to be the ladies on night one. It's not about we need a championship to close. It is about the draw. It is about the star power. Like it or not, the 5 biggest stars in this company, 2 of them were already engaged in night 2. Cody Rhodes and
the other
John
3
Cena,
is this.
and the other 3 are right here.
Right. It's true. And you know what makes me think and leaning towards what you said is what Punk has been saying, sort of like low key. Like if you remember, he was saying 2 weeks ago or maybe a week ago in a promo where he was alluding to how people think he's not going to main event WrestleMania because he's not in the championship match. He actually also said, like, I wouldn't put it past him, like himself, actually still main eventing WrestleMania. He said there's still a chance of that happening. So him saying that is kind of alluding that I'm going to main event this WrestleMania, you'll see, makes me think that it will be the final match. It's got to be on paper, but I feel bad for Gunther and Jay and the World Heavyweight Championship.
They're not over. They're not at that level.
Gunther, I think, is. Jay definitely isn't.
You think that Gunther is anywhere near the star of CM Punk, Roman Reigns, or Seth Rollins?
You don't like Gunther? I mean, I think he's...
I'm not asking. I'm not saying if you like him. Is he a star?
If he's paired with the right person, yes.
It's a yes or no. Is he a star? I'm not talking about some
all right.
nerd bell to bell. He can wrestle crap.
No, there's nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that.
TMZ, is Hollywood Tonight, is the local news, is ESPN. Are they picking up a story about Gunther?
Well, when you put
or
it
are they
like
going
that,
to talk to you
probably
about
not.
CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and even to a lesser extent Seth Rollins? If we are truly measuring megastars, I don't even know if I put Seth Rollins in there. He's a great WWE superstar.
You can't have him as a megastar, though. No way. Or can you?
If we go to the mall with Ben Hamin and poll the 10 people that still go to malls, how many of them know who Seth Rollins is? How many of them know who Gunther is?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question, man. Look, more people will know Seth Rollins. There's no doubt. I mean, let's be honest, right? He's more of a mainstream guy than Gunther.
Yeah.
That's a good question, Rick. I'm trying to be as impartial as possible.
Well, I know we're on a wrestling podcast. We work for a wrestling platform. We're wrestling guys, so it's kind of hard to step outside of that mindset sometimes.
Right, you're right. And I am trying to think outside of the box. And in saying that, I agree with you with Seth being the more mainstream guy. But a lot of fans are not into Gunther, like Gruss is saying. I see that a lot, man. I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people make him out to be in terms of star. Right? I don't find him as boring. I actually find him amusing in many ways.
I think there's tremendous upside potential.
Of course, absolutely.
With him, but as we're sitting here talking, he is a WWE star. He is not a star.
Right. And when you say that, you're meaning like a mainstream star. Well, when you put it like that, I don't think many people know him outside of WWE.
Right. If we would go out and poll, go to since I'm watching the NCAA tournament, let's say we go to one of the games, the arenas,
right,
and we ask them, "Do you know who Walter is?" Most people are going to say the dummy.
Where's Waldo?
They're going to say the dummy old guy from the Comedian Act. And you ask them who Gunther is, they're not going to know anyway.
They'll be like, isn't he a Nazi? Because that was actually true.
Oh, yeah, that's a German name. I'm sure there were like thousands of Gunther Nazis.
Yeah, but WWE aren't idiots either, man.
It's a German
how they play
name.
these weird shit. They do weird stuff, dude.
I'm sure there were a couple Jimmy Nazis.
I doubt Jimmy Nazis. I don't know about that, but I mean, I don't know. And
I'm not talking about Butch Dykes that just hate dicks.
Oh God! All right, now Rick, you're going too far with that one. But in saying that, you're right. You've actually put me on the spot, and I've got to be honest. It doesn't matter how I feel as a wrestling fan, but as a mainstream, worldwide sort of, star. Unfortunately, no. Like that's the truth.
And I think it's a shame, because we could have a number of people like that. A lot of people that we talked about that we praised. We should be elevating. Liv Morgan would be into that. I think there's a lot we could do with her. She's not there.
But her upside is absolutely through the roof. She can go very high, man. I think we can, they don't need to rush it, though. She's on her way, if you know what I mean. But Gunther's a hard one, dude. It really is, but it's obvious, too, because a lot of people are above him in terms of star power. It is what it is.
There's a uniqueness to him. He'd be fine. So,
is he too European to be mainstream?
No, especially with the global expansion. Yeah,
but he's not just any European. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's particular others that would be looked at differently if they were a different race. But because he's German/Austrian, they speak the same language. To me, it's the same. Is there that stigma, if you know what I mean?
Oh, well, inside of professional wrestling, then you could just lean into the heelish side of that.
True. That's true. He can't be a good babyface, though. I don't think he could ever be a great babyface.
Not everyone has to be like. Some people make careers out of being the villains.
It's true. He's a natural villain, definitely. Yeah, no, you really fucking put me on the spot, and I have to agree with you. So, sorry, Gunther, man. As much as I'm a fan, I don't think people know who you are outside of the wrestling bubble, unfortunately. It is what it is.
Yeah. So, King of Powers, wrestling is a bubble regardless. You have casuals and marks, and that's it. The audience will never grow to what it was before. It's just inflated due to prices, the gates, and all that.
I disagree a little bit. I
go
think
ahead.
they have
I completely disagree.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kenny, and I love what you say, man, but I think you're way off because you're not looking at the bigger picture. If you know what I mean, you're judging just by ratings. Do not judge that. Don't look at it just for the ratings because it's different now with the way shit is consumed. And if you look at the overall bigger picture, they're booming right now, WWE. And I mean booming, even with these high ticket prices.
These ticket prices are ridiculous right now.
Ridiculous, but they're still selling out.
It is lending a lot to them bragging, though, to use these numbers. They are still selling out. There are people paying for this. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. A Hall of Fame that were $8,500 minimum before upgrades for meet and greet with some of the Hall of Famers.
Yeah, try meeting Lex Luger or Triple H even.
Yeah.
Did you see the prices for that shit?
$8,500 for just the base before upgrades.
Who are they
Lunch
fooling,
with John Cena, $25,000.
Eat a dick, John. Straight up.
You think they're gonna be serving? Yeah, you're eating a dick if you're paying $25. Like,
literally eating a dick. I'm sorry, that's exactly what you're doing.
Would you order a fried bologna for $25,000?
Oh, it better be made out of gold. That's
yeah,
sure.
And I think what Kenny's saying, it's the same people watching the clips. But to go back to the original point there, I don't think it's fair to the genre of professional wrestling. And I'll add to this here, but there is opportunity for growth. There is ways for us to be intertwined into the mainstream entertainment. There is our global expansion is absolutely ridiculous.
It's the biggest ever, too, mind you.
But here is the problem, though. Those inside the business are only giving it, I'll be generous here, about 40% of the effort. We have lost characters. We have lost storytelling. At its very best, when wrestling was at a peak there, it was telling the most relatable stories to the public. It is a global language. You can easily understand it, which makes it so appealing around the world.
Is. I think people underestimate how truly global and how big WWE particularly is around the world, man. They're selling out every country they're going to, even obscure ones that you wouldn't think would be as popular, like Belgium, for example. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They could go anywhere right now. I guarantee you, people are going to turn up. And this is what you guys are failing to see. And I'm talking to you, Swerve and Kenny, because you're both agreeing with each other. Forget it's all bread and circus pandemic type of shit. You got to look at it from a world aspect. It's not just in the US. It's not just in Australia. It's everywhere, and everyone's turning up, man, like in droves. It's crazy in a way seeing this. So I don't know how you guys are looking at it like that. You got to look at it from the bigger picture.
I think it is fair with them. There is a speed bump. We are at a hurdle here. We have to get back to the fundamentals, the foundations. If you're selling wrestling to 100 people, it's the same principles as selling it to millions of people. You got to have the characters, real characters, right? To go through these rosters right now, it's difficult to sit there and really define the characters.
You could say, is there really any characters?
That's what I'm saying. To really, pull out, but we should have that across the board. And they should be easily identified. And the stories that they are telling in the ring are things that we should be able to relate to in our own lives, only turned up to 100 with the knob ripped off. I mean, that's right. One of the things that made Austin so great is you had a lot of disgruntled SOBs out there, love drinking their beer, love shooting their guns, hated the boss.
Right.
And on Monday night, you got to tune in and live vicariously through Steve Austin, who got to go out there, shoot off his guns, drink his beer, run his pickup truck over what the hell he wanted, and to top it all off, got to beat his boss up.
And that's what every single person deep down wishes they could freaking do. And that's why he was so over, man, because he was doing what everyone
there are
wanted to do.
those different cases, and it's just that not everyone can be an Austin. I mean, there are the
Right.
different ones. The
No.
Bret Hart, the guy that chopped wood, carried water, that was a traditionalist, that was just all about the hard work and the respect. There were people that could relate to that. Or on the other side, people that just thought that he was a pretentious prick. The Shawn Michaels of the world that you love to see just get punched in the face repeatedly. You're paying to see them get beat up.
Right. And even Zane brings up a great point too. Social media has a big part in this as well, with the global expansion and just the popularity of professional wrestling right now. And he's right. I mean, we're not neglecting it.
We need to lean into social media. One of the things that always gets me, I hate, kayfabe is dead. No, it needs to be able to breathe and evolve. If you learn how to use social media properly, you can create that buzz and spread your product, spread the good word.
100%. And when you say about crossover, who said the crossover? Someone in the chat.
Talking about crossover stars, it was gross. WWE forgot how to build crossover superstars. That's 100%.
I don't think they've forgotten. I think they've done this on purpose.
They don't want to.
No, they don't want to. It's WWE. It's those letters that they've built up. They're not strapping no rocket ship anymore on anybody, especially considering if you look at past shit. The Rock took off to movies, for example. You know what I mean? Hogan, went away as well for a long time. Like, there's a lot of guys that kind of stabbed him in the back and started becoming their own thing.
I hope that is just a Vince McMahon thing, that we're going to see that fade away. Because if you look at the other majors, the NFL, the most popular sport, arguably in the world. In the U.S., with such a tremendous following everywhere, but how they reach our audiences here is through their stars. It's not about the acronym, the three letters NFL. It's about the stars and telling us their stories. We've got the different personalities here in Cincinnati at Joe Burrow. We got the Joe Cool guy, the Ric Flair type. In Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, who for a while, the boy next door, got the family, the Midwest dream, all that. But it was one of those cases he got so good, it almost started making him turn heel. So now
it doesn't make sense for him to be the guy, just your everyday person that you can relate to. Because once he becomes a star.
And so the NFL, they play, I'm not one of the conspiracy horsemen on this thing where the league is fixed and all that, but yes.
I hate this argument. Do you think it is?
No, but they lean into it. They want you to be pissed off. They want you to talk about it. That's what's generating the interest.
That's true.
Generating the revenue. You're tuning into the Chiefs games each and every week. If you're not even a Chiefs fan or care about who they're playing, you're tuning in to see if they're going to screw their opponent or if someone can get over on them.
That's interesting that you say that. I should pay more attention to that because I never looked at it like that. But Swerve agrees with you. Look, this is a real subject. We can talk about this. We can have a whole show just about this in general. There's a lot of different aspects that really we need to talk about to really get to the bottom of it. The point is, for me, WWE is building those three letters, WWE. That's the rocket ship. That's what people are paying for those three letters compared to actually building a real crossover star. You could say Roman Reigns is somewhat can be a crossover guy, but I think he's too cupid. Like, he's very outside of wrestling. He keeps to himself per se. Do you know what I mean? If he wasn't he needs to be more introverted. He's too introverted, if you know what I mean. Like, it's weird.
There's been a few times I know when he went on Conan.
Oh no, he's been on plenty of times on Conan.
Where the interview wasn't Roman, it was Joe.
Absolutely, and that's what it should be.
He has a potential for that. Believe me, if he wanted to make that crossover, just call his cousin, and it's going to happen. I mean, the guy's got Hollywood looks. He's got a good personality. We know he can play an amazing villain.
It's up to him. If he wants to be that, he can be that. But I feel like he doesn't really want to be that, and he doesn't like doing the whole what's it called? Like the whole course of promoting everything. Like, he doesn't like talking too much. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's on him. Cena was truly your last real, other than Reigns, your last real crossover guy. Batista, you could say, is a crossover guy. Like with the movies, and I mean, there's a lot of guys, if they want to get into Hollywood, they become pretty big deals if they choose that route.
Absolutely.
So
All right, Jimmy, let's send it home here.
Let's send it home. I know we went a lot longer than I expected, put it that way.
Good conversation, though. So we appreciate everybody in the chat contributing.
Yeah, and just so I get it clear before we go, everyone in the chat, no one's wrong. This is all subjective, by the way. You know what I mean? It's all different opinions. It has nothing to do with if I'm right, you're right, or they're right. It's a real tough question. You got to really break down things. But in saying that, Rick, we did 2 hours. I've done 4 hours already today alone.
I was going to say, we will let everybody know. I do know right now, unless there's a major change in the weather, we will be back next Sunday. Hopefully, we'll be switching to Saturdays here in April. It's just as my schedule at the racetrack gets changed.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I do prefer the Saturdays because of the wreckage.
I can't control the weather here, buddy.
Yeah, but that's it. That's the truth. You know what I mean? But we will eventually go back. But for now, you know, you got to just see what happens and what time you catch us. But it's generally going to be, like you said, next Sunday we'll be back the same time. So in saying that, Rick, tell them what you're doing because you've done a bit of stuff too, man. Like you and Paz as well. Great show, by the way. Check that out right here on Hamin Media Group. But what else are you doing?
Yeah, well, you can catch me each and every week. I kick off my week here on the weekends. Sunday with the Smack Attack. Again, hopefully that will be shifting in April until Saturdays. On Saturdays, but just we'll keep you updated through the week when we're going to be coming at you on the Smack Attack. Monday afternoons, I'm with the Ayatollah, the man with his name on the door, the Monday locker room with Ben Hamin. So we'll be coming at you tomorrow. Also on the weekends, not a live show, but you can catch it over at the Hamin Media Group YouTube page. An exclusive there. I team up with John Paz from the two-man power trip. We call it the 10 count. 10 topics, 10 conversations. We go back and forth, run them down
in 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes, we keep you in and out on that thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Is it no more? What about RBV Eats? Is that even still?
Well, I've got dinner. I plan that here. Coming up in 1 month, WrestleMania weekend. I won't be around on Saturday because I've got a new gig here locally. I am officially the voice, the MC, the host for Knockout Kings Tough Man Boxing here in Cincinnati.
No way.
So I'm going to be the hype
awesome.
man for that. That is our debut event at Riverfront Live here in Cincinnati, a big, gorgeous venue. Guess what? Right now, it looks like we are already going to outsell AEW when they come to town. We're running.
Wait, I got to do this. This one's for you. There we go, AEW. Eat that. All right.
Yeah,
Eat
so
a freaking bologna.
We're going to get with everybody and try to come up with big WrestleMania festivities for the Hamin Media Group and all that. So look forward to it. Appreciate it. Help us spread the word to join us. Great with the chat. We want more interaction, conversation with you guys as we tweak our format here.
Absolutely. And it was a great conversation. Everyone got involved, which we'd like to see. But what's more important, keep checking us out every week, of course, right here on Hamin Media Group's YouTube channel and on channelattitude.com after the fact. But more importantly, please like and subscribe, of course, and share this stuff out there. It's just share it to everyone and anyone, and, you know, just get us out there. We would really appreciate that. But in saying that, if you want to follow me, you can on the Twitter, but I can't really interact because I'm locked out of my own account. Blame Elon, but at DJ Mass Effects anyway. Like and subscribe at channelattitude.com, where $5 not only do you get the realest but the best talk in all of professional wrestling. And of course at haminmediagroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows, including the Wednesday Locker Room, for example. And of course the professor, and of course, I'm going blank with the others. JB, and I'm missing one more, but give me a break.
Wonder.
Yeah, Tommy Wonder. Jesus Christ, man. It's been a long day for me. So in saying that, go and check out the Pro Wrestling Reflection at podbean.com, haminmediagroup.podbean.com. And I think that's a wrap, Rick. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is RBV. And you've been listening and watching the Smack Attack right here on Hamin Media Group's YouTube channel. And we're out. Peace.
Yeah, Powers. Monday Locker Room tomorrow.
That's right. He just said it before. Tune into that. Don't miss it. Himself and the Ayatollah himself, bin Hamin. Well, we're out. Bye.